Hi everyone, welcome back to another video today, and this is Chelsea vs Barnsley preview. We will discuss about the preview, we discuss about the predicted lineup, we will discuss about what the managers will want, how the shape of the team can be, and many other things. So this is a very exciting match, a cup competition. Both teams will relish it. For Barnsley, it's about playing a very big team. It's about one day, cup day. You never know, any upset could happen. And Chelsea will be familiar with Barnsley, that we'll discuss later. Chelsea, on the other hand, will use this as an opportunity to win another cup because last year they had to face the agony of losing in the final against Arsenal. With Premier League having teams like City, Liverpool, Champions League being out of their reach, which is still not out of their reach. Nothing is impossible, but overall, realistically, it's not the Chelsea's target to win this year. So this is a trophy that Chelsea will try to win along with an FA Cup. So let's straight away start with the home team. So Chelsea will play Barnsley on 7:45 p.m. UK time at Stamford Bridge at their home ground. So Chelsea will really want to win well. Now, unfortunately, there's no fans, but Chelsea will want to send a statement because they lost their first home game of the season last week against Liverpool. So Chelsea have started the season a bit more in the middle way. Chelsea won against Brighton, but they did not play that well. And then Chelsea lost to Liverpool very comfortably in the end. So we have to be very clear. See, Chelsea players are right now gelling. They've got new players, a new team, and I think I don't know will this work or not. But Lampard has made a new setup now. I don't know because see, their injured players are coming back, but the setup has been a bit different than last season. Chelsea have become more defensively solid. On the set pieces, they look better, but it looks like they sacrifice their attacking intent. But we'll see when Ziyech and all Pulisic players will be back. Will this intent remain or will Chelsea change? But right now, Chelsea are a very different team to what we know. So Chelsea come into this picture with a bit of bad mood after losing to Liverpool, and they will want to win at home to get that home streak momentum back because Liverpool were the team who defeated them after a long time where Chelsea won some 6 matches in a row at home. So with Chelsea, Frank Lampard made it clear that he will start Willy Caballero in the goal, which has been absolutely clear by him. Frank Lampard also made it clear that Hakim Ziyech, Pulisic are getting close to fitness, but I don't think they'll feature in this match. In the same way, I think Thiago Silva is fit as per the reports. He is training, but I think Lampard might prefer Rudiger in this game. We'll discuss about this in length a bit later in the video. So I think that were the reactions of Frank Lampard press conference. So let's straight away get into the predicted lineup that Chelsea might play. So in my regards, the goalkeeper is very clear. That's going to be Caballero. At the right is going to be ever dependent Azpilicueta. Unfortunately, his place has been taken by Reece James. But I think Azpilicueta is still a very dependable professional and he'll still handle it with absolute care and will give his absolute best to be in the lineup. At the left position, I think Chelsea will go with Emerson because Alonso has played 2 games in a row and Emerson might be given a chance. It might be to drive his price in the market. He's not finding sellers, and overall, with Chilwell injured, Chelsea don't have anyone to play. You still never know. Lampard might put a surprise, but I think it's going to be Emerson at the left. In the middle, I think it's going to be Rudiger and Tamori. I think Frank Lampard, because he has Andres Christensen banned because of his red card versus Liverpool, I think Frank Lampard will go with Rudiger, Tamori, and Thiago Silva might debut on Saturday. It will make sense for him to debut today, but I think because Rudiger has been playing a bit more consistently last year, I think Lampard will want to play him first and slowly allow Thiago to settle. So I think he will go with Rudiger. And I think Tamori, if Frank Lampard drops him, it will be very sad because Tamori has performed very well. It was a surprise that he was dropped last season after the Bournemouth game. Tamori is a player who's got a lot of ability and should be given more chances to play, but Frank knows better than us. But because of the Tomori's display against Liverpool, I think Frank will give him a chance against Barnsley. Then we move in the midfield, and I think Chelsea will play Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He had a disappointing game last time when he played against Brighton, but we have to remember that he has an ACL injury. It takes a lot of time to come back from that. So he will not be back to the player we know. He could be back, but it will be with time, and fans need to keep patience with him. And I think this might be a match to slowly get him to more match fitness, to more confidence in himself. In the same way, I think Loftus-Cheek will be partnered by Barkley. I think Barkley is a player who has always been non-consistent. He has showed his ability in one match, but he has shown also his problems in another match. So I think Barnsley could be an opponent. He will try to show Frank Lampard that he deserves a chance to play. I think in the front four, I think Mason Mount will finally be given a rest, and I think Callum Hudson-Odoi will go on the wings. It's been very surprising that Lampard has not persisted with the natural winger in Hudson-Odoi and persisted with Mason Mount. But I think Mason Mount is also a very good player. He has got a lot of talent, and Frank Lampard will have his own reasons to persist with Mason Mount and not Hudson-Odoi. But I think one doubt we cannot clear is that I don't know, because Hudson-Odoi had a very good game against Bayern Munich previously, so something might have happened. But let's hope that everything gets resolved, because Hudson-Odoi is a very, very good player, and Chelsea know they cannot lose him because he could be a very good player in the future. So I think Frank Lampard will rest Mount and give Hudson-Odoi a chance. So Hudson-Odoi will perform well and might make Lampard want to play him against West Brom. I think at the right, Chelsea will go with Havertz. I think Havertz has taken a bit more time to settle, which is normal. He's in a new country. He's still not match fit. So he will slowly get more fitter, and Barnsley is a very good match for him to play on. And with Hakim Ziyech and Pulisic both injured, Havertz will have to slot in the wings for me. And I think in the front two, Chelsea will go with Tammy Abraham and Loftus-Cheek. Chelsea had a striker who scored 16 goals last season, and then Chelsea have a player who is a very good player and did a fantastic job last season to get them top 4. He might not have 16 goals to show for, but Oliver Giroud's contribution were very important for Chelsea to get top 4. But when you have signed a player like Werner, who is a fantastic player, unfortunately, even two players who have performed very well have to go on the bench. So Chelsea side has very, very good competition, and I think Lampard will give both of them chances. I think in the future, many Chelsea fans have been thinking of that Lampard might play Werner Giroud both together, with Werner making instinctive run in the boxes and Giroud laying the ball for him. So I think Tammy Abraham and Giroud might have the same combination that day, and Chelsea might play a formation of 4-2-4, with I think Callum Hudson-Odoi a bit back and Tammy Abraham playing just a bit behind Olivier Giroud. So I think that's Chelsea predicted lineup. Now we go to Barnsley. So Barnsley haven't started the season well. Barnsley, they lost their first match, we all know, against Luton Town at home 1-0. Then they have lost to Reading 2-0, where they had 2 players red carded and played with 9 men. But Barnsley have beaten Middlesbrough and Nottingham Forest to get to this round, so they are in absolute confidence. Barnsley stunned everyone with their victory against Brentford in the last day of the season last year. Barnsley are the main reason for Brentford being in the Championship and not Premier League, which is sad, but Barnsley showed what they're capable of. They were written off. People were thinking that Charlton was safe, but Barnsley pulled themselves on. They beat Nottingham Forest, who were fighting for the playoffs, and they also beat Brentford. Brentford away from home. It was Brentford 1, Barnsley 2. Even a draw on that day might have been enough for Brentford to be promoted to Premier League. But Barnsley stunned all of us. So never count down Barnsley in a big encounter. Remember Chelsea fans, and I think Frank Lampard will properly remember too, because he was one of the players who has faced the agony of getting out against Barnsley. So I think we'll discuss that in the later as that's an head-to-head. But I think Chelsea will be very careful of this team. So Barnsley will line up in more often because they've done the same in the last 2 matches with a 3-4-1-2 formation. I think they will go with keeper Walton. Then they will play Saul Bayer in the centre back, Halme and Umar, because the 2 centre backs were red carded against Reading. So I think Umar and Halme will come back in this match. At the right, it will be Ludovic. In the middle, it will be Movat, Ritzmaier and Williams. Movas is a player their fans really wanted to keep hold this season, and they have been able to keep hold of him. Then I think in the front 3, it will be Thomas, who will play in the middle of 1, and the 2 forwards will be Woodrow and Fraser. Now, Chaplin had a good year last year, but I think the manager will play Woodrow and will persist with Fraser. Woodrow is a very, very good player. Chaplin scored 12 goals last season, while Woodrow scored 14. So, you might not be surprised if you see Chaplin in this match. But I just think that they will play Fraser and Woodrow together, and Chaplin might have to go on the bench. So this was a team of Barnsley. So with Barnsley, the thing is, as we go to an head-to-head, then 12 years back in 2008, in 2007-8 season, which has been a heartbreak season for Chelsea fans, they lost in the Champions League final, they lost in the League Cup final against Tottenham Hotspur, and in the FA Cup, they were knocked out by Barnsley. It was Barnsley 1, Chelsea 0. A surprising result we never could have expected. It was a goal by Kaedo Odejayai, and Chelsea had a team which comprised of players like Anelka, Malouda, ACM, Joe Cole, Terry, Bridge, Bala, Carvalho. All these players were starting, yet Barnsley beat them. So I think Chelsea fans know and will want to avenge this defeat. And I think even Frank Lampard was a big part of the squad, but he just did not start the match. So Frank Lampard will know what happened that day, and he will be more careful this time. So I think this was the 2 teams, their lineups, and what we can expect from the managers. So let's straight away get into the prediction. So I think it's a very exciting match. Chelsea will still, this Chelsea's second string still looks very, very strong. So I'm really sorry, I can't see Barnsley putting an upset here. But I do think Barnsley will be very tight. They won't give Chelsea spaces. But with players like Callum Hudson-Odoi, Havertz, Giroud, Abraham, Barkley, Loftus-Cheek, I think Chelsea will have just too much on the day. I'm going for Chelsea 3, Barnsley nil. With I think Havertz, Giroud, and I think Hudson-Odoi. These all three players bring the score sheet. So I'm going with Chelsea 3, Barnsley nil. And this ends the preview. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, subscribe, and please support me. And do not forget to leave your predictions below in the comment section. Thank you so much, everyone.